Why do people get so damned offended by high-end audio? Scott in London, England, asks that very question, and he says, Paul, why do you think there are people who get enraged by high-end audio? I'm talking about those who call the whole thing snake oil and say that no one can hear the difference between a $100 system and a $1,000 system or a $10,000 system. And you know, Scott, you're right. There are plenty of those people around. And before I answer your question, for the YouTube video audience and those watching or listening to Ohm's Law, we are standing in part of our new building. This is an area, and again, I'm showing you this. We did a tour before, but I'm showing you this so you get a sense of the space as I'm walking around. For Ohm's Law listeners, we're in a 25 by 30 foot space with about a 15-foot ceiling. And over to the side here is a separate room. This is going to become one of the best mastering and recording studios in the world when it comes to high-end audio. It'll be built specifically for high-end audio. We'll have the 32-track Sonoma DSD mastering and recording system in here. There'll be a piano. Gus Skinnis is going to organize the whole thing. It'll become his new headquarters, and I am so excited about this. This is crazy. For the first time, we have room enough to do it. This over here, I don't know if you can, I don't think you can see, but I'm moving to the left here, and there's a separate room that's probably about 12 by 12, and that room will become the drum isolation area. So if we have a drum set, we'll put them in there. We're going to glass that in. And this, well, of course, we're going to put walls up here and close it all off, but wait till you see it. And we'll do videos. You'll be able to absolutely watch the process and the progress of building this room out. And we've got a lot to do. For those of you that can actually see, there's these giant air conditioning ducts up here and fire extinguisher things coming down. So all that's got to go away. We're going to put it on the roof. We're going to add, it's going to be bitchin', as we used to say. I haven't used that word in years. All right, why do people get so excitedly angry over high-end audio? It's not like we're threatening the world, but I think the answer to it is, first off, a lot of people have their worldview threatened, okay? If you have a little stereo at home and you listen to music on it and it costs you $100, it costs you $500, whatever it is, it costs you some sensible, reasonable amount of money. And to you, you listen and think, well, that's good enough. What more do I want? For someone to then say, well, I spent $20,000 on putting this system together, they're going to think you're nuts as somebody who went out to a fine dining restaurant and dropped $200 before the wine for a meal for two people, where the guy down the street went over to Burger King and for $5.95 fed his entire family, to exaggerate a point. Our worldviews become threatened when something that is so far out of the realm of reasonability to us stops making sense. Cars. Why does anybody need a $70,000 car when you can go buy a $15,000 car that gets you from point A to point B just as well? Why does somebody need to live in a $3 million home when a $100,000 home over here, I don't know if they exist anymore, well, maybe 200,000 or 300,000, is going to do just fine, right? It's all a matter of perspective. And when people's worldviews are shattered or threatened, what do? We lash out. We call it things that justify the threat. So snake oil, well, it can't cost that much money. It can't make sense because that doesn't fit into my worldview. Most of those people have never heard a high-end audio system, have never heard something better. And we tend to lash out. I remember, look, I'm a vegetarian, I'm a foodie, I spend extra money buying organics, I eat healthy, I work hard at it, and I am very much in appreciation of that lifestyle, okay? Now that's not for everybody, but I've been doing that for 40-something years, 30-something years, 30, 40 years. Back then before Whole Foods, before the organic movement and all that, people thought I was not only nuts trying to search out for healthy foods that weren't processed and fresh vegetables, that I got two forms of reaction. One form was a really sweet concern for my life. Like, oh God, you don't eat meat and you don't, I hope you're gonna live. I hope you're gonna survive, because it just doesn't make any sense to me how you could live on just eating weeds and scraping up tofu. And I mean, it's just, it doesn't make any sense. So one reaction was out of kindness, like they were genuinely concerned for my well-being. They thought I would fade away to nothingness. In a sense, I wish that were true. The other sense I got was one of anger and ridicule. I mean, I had one person tell me that I, was going to be riddled with maggots because, you have to have insecticides and pesticides in order to get rid of all the thieving little microbes that are going to come and eat my soul. Anger, like, what's wrong with just eating regular food? And why do you have to go? You guys are crazy. You're just nuts. It's snake oil. It's all snake oil, and you're buying into this stuff. That's a normal human reaction. When we don't understand, when we haven't taken the time to learn about something and to hear about it, to verify if it is something that is interesting to us. And all I would ever ask is, if you're of such a mindset, and I guess we all are to some extent in some fashion, right? If you are in that, take the time to see for yourself. Might open some doors for you. Come here, visit. That's why we're building this place. We want people to come and see, sit down and listen. And you may not think it's something that you want, you may not think it's something that's worth anything to you, but at least you'll know of the huge chasm and the huge difference between what we listen to in high-end audio and what others listen to in home stereos that just don't have that. The chasm is as large as the Grand Canyon, and once you hear it, you'll understand, and then decide if it's for you or not for you. Thanks for the question. Bye.